It seems like Marjorie Harvey's cloudless life is coming to an end with new exposure about her dark past, chasing her even in Hollywood. Apparently, even after securing the position of Steve Harvey's wife, she cannot escape the ghosts of her past, and her reputation as stylish and nice lady is about to be stained with dirty secrets involving several marriages and even drug dealing. Hi everyone, and welcome back to Celeb Live Channel. I keep my eyes on the most scandalous events in show business and always bring you the hottest updates. As they say, a day without another drama in Hollywood is a wasted day. So Marjorie Harvey doesn't give us a chance to waste this moment because she is under the destroying fire of her past deeds. How come this sophisticated lady was in the center of a drug ring just a few decades ago, jumping from one bed to another? Stay with me until the end of this video so you won't miss any detail. When Steve Harvey tied the knot for the third time, he repeatedly stated that he had finally ended up with the woman of his dreams. It seems like Steve was in love with Marjorie since the first day he had met many years ago, and it took him painful 18 years to finally hear her I do in 2005. According to Steve's side of things, he first saw Marjorie in 1987 when she showed up late to one of his stand-up shows. Ever since he landed his eyes on her, he realized that she was the one. As Steve recalls himself, the very first words I ever said to Marjorie, and I kid you not, "I don't know who you are, but I'll marry you one day." I told her that in 1987. But as Steve confessed, back then, Marjorie was married to another man, and Steve wasn't that famous and wealthy, so he couldn't offer anything to this woman to win her heart except for his never-ending love. And although it was stated that Steve and Marjorie were shortly dating at around that time, it seems like all communication between them suddenly came to a stop. And anyway, Marjorie was living like a queen back then with her first husband, Jim Townsend, the famous drug dealer from Memphis, Tennessee, and he was the king of the street there. So Marjorie knew where money was at that time and didn't hesitate to stay by Jim's side, and as people are saying, she was actively participating in her then husband's business activities. And it seems like past is catching up with her because both she and her husband Steve may face several problems because of her close ties with these kinds of things. As sources reveal, Marjorie didn't play a role of a housewife looking after two kids. It was a full ride for her, sharing not only bed with her man, but every nuances of his business as well. Well, unlike Jim, Marjorie was never caught and sentenced. And it seems like Townsend cut a deal with the authorities because he couldn't let the mother of his kids end up in prison with him. Well, yeah, Jim was caught red-handed trying to buy a stash of product of a size of a teenager, and you don't get away with such things. The man was sentenced to spend the rest of his life in prison, and I guess Marjorie didn't expect him to be back to her. As she was on the way to mint her happiness, she rolled out and divorced him after 5 years into his sentence. Very soon, Marjorie found herself in bed with another kingpin, Darnell Woods, and even married him. Apparently, something about that drug hustle was so important to Marjorie that she decided to stick to another dealer for a while, probably expecting the same level of wealth and riches. There's been a talk on social media if Marjorie has a thing for this business, and whether she probably wasn't only good at dealing, but at using as well. But her newly found happiness didn't last long because Darnell met the same fate as Marjorie's first husband, and the couple got divorced after a few years. Throughout all these years, Marjorie was still in touch with her first ex, Jim Townsend, and as it was reported, she even received his phone calls from the prison and even visited him there. But apparently, this woman decided to cut all ties to such a dangerous life, and as soon as Steve Harvey found the way to her heart, obviously, with a pile of money, she severed all ties with her past. Unlike his miserable life in the 90s, Steve was in a completely another place when he and Marjorie finally started dating. Harvey was ready to take financial responsibility for a woman like Marjorie, and he didn't think twice before making sure she belonged to him and no one else. Only a couple of years after, he proposed to her, and it didn't even look strange to him that he decided to chase the woman from his dream still being married to another person. I mean, what a great example to follow. Steve divorced his then wife, Mary Lee, and as she confessed, left her with nothing because he was only thinking of how to sustain Marjorie's appetites. You know, being married to two kingpins certainly raises your standards of living. Many people find it interesting how Marjorie was hopping from one man to another in search of a better and more secure financial position. As one person said, "Sounds like she's been passed around more than a collection plate. She's not a gold digger. She's one of the best cons I've ever seen." And another added, "This relationship is just one big transaction that both of them signed up for. That's their business and it'll work until he gets tired of paying." But it looks like Steve is still head over heels in love with this lady, and he didn't hesitate to leave his ex-wife with nothing, only to provide for Marjorie. As Mary Lee stated, Steve not only betrayed her by handing her the divorce papers, but he also tried to silence her with a gag order, prohibiting Mary to speak her truth. According to Mary Lee, she knew about Steve's affair with Lady Heroin, as certain people still call Marjorie on the internet, and she even read their intimate emails. And what makes this story even more creepy is the fact that it was Steve's own bodyguard who reminded him about Marjorie's availability. As Steve recalls, it happened that one of my bodyguards, Boomerang, kept in touch with one of Marjorie's girlfriends. But what you never expected to learn about this bodyguard, that before offering his services as a celebrity security, he was having certain type of business with offering lonely people time with luxurious ladies, if you know what I mean. And it's not some kind of hidden secret because the man kept bragging about his past, which only makes me question the type of connection Marjorie had with this guy. Well, I guess that was the topic for the next investigation and back to Marjorie's dark past. Well, Steve's ex-wife, Mary Lee, is confident that Marjorie, apart from her 2 marriages to drug kingpins and alleged dealing and using, also had connections with this Boomerang bodyguard, and probably at the time of his dark past, and it feels like the future, Mrs. Harvey convinced her old friend to put a good word for her. Well, in his love letter to Marjorie, which Steve wrote on the 15th anniversary of their marriage, he recalled when my bodyguard Boomerang handed me his phone day in 2005, I had no idea who was on the other side of it, but I recognized your voice right away, and it was the best day of my life. And while Steve is ready to cover his wife from head to toes with compliments, words of love, and of course, luxury, one of Marjorie's ex-husbands also has a word or two about the true nature of this woman. Finally being released from the prison after 26 years behind the bars, Jim Townsend doesn't hide his contempt toward Marjorie, who managed to secure a status of celebrity, while his was doing a bid for both of them. Jim is adamant to tell his side of things on that story in his upcoming all book entitled Snakes in the Garden, which release is scheduled at July this year. And this book is apparently a nail-biter, judging by an excerpt already available to the public. In this extract, Jim talks about his daughter Morgan. And guys, this seems to be a horrifying beginning because it says, the sight of Morgan always brought joy to my heart. She was truly the apple of my eye and the only reason I hadn't killed her mother. As Morgan couldn't understand what was happening, she turned her attention back to me and locked eyes with me, giving me a look that said, come and get me, daddy. By what it looks, the book will become a bestseller instantly after the release, even with a quite hefty price tag of almost $30 for a Kindle version on Amazon. And this is only the beginning. And I guess Jim was not exaggerating when he said that this would a tell-all story, which only means one thing. There will more truth spilled, and poor Marjorie has to brace herself for what's coming for her. So far, she feels pretty pleased being Steve's wife and staying away from all drug scandals, and as many people note, this is a match of beauty and a bag. Well, let's see if her celebrity status will protect her from the storm, and will she able to enjoy her luxury after this release. As one person wrote, Marjorie used her looks to get herself financial gains. She's fortunate she didn't get any jail time. You can't knock the hustle, and another added, sounds like the real kingpin is Marjorie. That woman got game for real, and when you have game like that, you play it well. Well, it seems like Marjorie knows exactly what she wants in life and doesn't hesitate to move from one wealthy and influential man to another. But it seems like she secured her position with Steve now and not planning to leave anytime soon. Well, I wonder what Steve would say when he learns more ugly details of his woman's past from that book. And what do you reckon? Will Steve try to get rid of Marjorie after learning about her past? Or is he ready to leave past in the past? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'm eager to know what you're thinking. And in the meantime, check my other video about Marjorie Harvey's ties to dealing elites. Apparently, she knows about the products more than we can imagine. Well, that's all for today. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned, and I promise to be back very soon with a new portion of gossip about your favorite celebrities.
You know, I think it's always quite hilarious and quite amusing to see the YouTube comments when it comes to situations like this. You know, so some of those people were saying things like Marjorie Harvey has game and she's the real kingpin. And it's like, well, I mean, does Marjorie Harvey really have game, or does she do what every attractive woman in existence has ever done when they when they saw that they were able to pull off something like this? Okay, like this is something that is incredibly common, right? This is literally every woman's dating strategy. She is not unique. She's not smart. There's nothing special about Marjorie Harvey at all. She just did what her biological hypergamous desires told her to do. Okay, like all she did was say, okay, wait, I'm with this guy, but wait, this higher status guy wants me. Hold up, my hypergamy is not satisfied anymore because this guy is no longer. This guy is lower now, right? So now there's a guy who's better than this guy. So now this is not the top guy. So now I'm going to go for this guy. You know what I mean? Like women have this monkey branch strategy where they're always going for the top guy. And this is a universal strategy that women have. Marjorie Harvey is not unique. She's not special. There's nothing smart about her. Okay. She is just incredibly common. All right. The only thing special about her was how she looked. Okay. And that's absolutely it. Past that, I mean, this is every woman's dating strategy, literally. So I wouldn't really say she has game. I would just say she did exactly what any woman would do if they had looks like her. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's really it. Like, I don't think she had any type of, oh my God, this great strategy. You know who really has strategy? The men who develop $1 million businesses from nothing. Okay. The people who develop businesses where they're making 6 figures a year plus from nothing. You know what I mean? People like me. You know what I mean? These are the people who are not to toot my own horn, but I'm just saying, like, these are the people who are actually smart. You know what I mean? A woman who uses her looks to get up in life, a woman who uses her looks to get advantage in life has no skill or talent at anything. Right? Like, let's just be real. She just has the gift of her physical attraction, and that's it. You know what I mean? Like, you take that away and then she's nothing. There's no specialty to her. So, no, she's not some smart genius or this business genius or some tycoon or some kingpin. No, Steve Harvey is all of those things, and she's none of those things. Okay, let's stop that. Let's get that straight right now. Right? Like, if anyone's smart, it's Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey, well, no. Steve Harvey is a simp for getting married to this chick. So he's not smart, but he's smart in his business acumen. Okay, he's smart in that, right? If anything, he's the kingpin in that, right? Not Marjorie Harvey. She's his slobber. Like, come on. like come on, man. Like, she's not, stop. Like, that's not, bro. Y'all gotta actually see the real dynamics of how situations are in life. And it's like, she's not a kingpin of anything. She's just using her looks to get an advantage in life, which is like what every model in existence has ever done. Like, this is nothing smart, special, or rare. Look at models. Look at if you look in the Vogue magazine, you can see literally thousands of people who have done a similar thing to her. They're using their looks to get a benefit in life. Okay. Have we not seen this before? Marjorie Harvey is not smart. Like, bro, y'all guys gotta stop that, bro. Like, come on now. She's not smart. She just did what her... Okay, if she's smart, then me going out and smashing a bunch of chicks is smart. Because that's what my biological drive is telling me to do. So, you know what I mean? But I don't even think that's smart. But I think what is smart for me is developing a business that makes over 6 figures, you know what I mean, for me. You know what I mean? Which I'm not even trying to toot my own horn. I'm actually coming out with digital products where I'm going to be teaching people exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is not to toot my own horn, but I'm just saying this to say that Marjorie Harvey she has no talent at anything besides using her looks to get an advantage in life. How is that a kingpin? I just want to make sure that everyone knows that commenter is delusional, right? You know what I mean? Or very mistaken. One of the two, right? I think someone else said a comment that was pretty absurd too. Hold up. Let me go see what they said. Someone else said something pretty absurd as well. They said something about, you know what? I don't think I'm going to be able to find it.
Always brought.
Okay. You know what? I can't find it. Someone else said something that was pretty laughable as well. But, yeah, I mean, Marjorie Harvey is no kingpin or anything. You know, she's just a typical woman using her looks to her advantage. Also, men, when they look really good, they do this as well. There's a guy named Jeremy Meeks. If you know who he was, he did a similar thing. And he got with like some billionaire chick. Yeah, I'm not even joking, bro. He went to jail and literally people like saw how attractive he was. I'm not like no zesty stuff. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to get with the dude, but I'm just saying, like, clearly women dig this dude, bro. You know what I mean? Like, y'all are gonna, if y'all look him up, if you look him up, you're gonna see what I'm talking about, right? Like, you're gonna clearly see that there's no surprise. Like, I'm not hating on the dude, right? I'm just saying that dudes do this too as well, right? So Jeremy Meeks, he got with a billionaire chick. Like, no joke, bro. You know what I mean? Now, you know, obviously he doesn't have as much money as her, but she's satisfied because, you know, she could never find a man that looks that good ever in existence. There's literally no man that could look that good. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna say that, but pretty much, like, he's literally in the 1% of looks, literally. I'm not joking, bro. Like, literally, bro. Like, no, I'm not saying I like him. I'm just saying though, like for how his response from women, he's in the 1% of looks. So there's no way she'll ever find someone that looks that good ever. It's impossible. So literally, so her hypergamy is satisfied. Now, I don't like to talk about this and sound so weird, but just is what it is. You know what I mean? I gotta be really real with y'all. I cannot, I cannot lie to y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all the real, even if you don't like it. You know what I mean? That's just the truth. But if you enjoyed this video, like the video, link to Patreon's in the description. It's Noah's rant here. Be easy.